I
Right.
think pretty much everything in the past is sunk cost. A
So
lot
you-
of the retail investors are getting indoctrinated by the fucking liberals, thinking, "What? That's fine."
I felt like I was
Fire.
like super liberal in this episode. But
Yeah,
I'm
you
okay
were.
with that. I'm okay with that because someone's gotta play the bad guy, right?
Someone's gonna
I'm
pick
like
that
literally
guy.
I'm not. But yeah, talking about diagnosis, actually, my leg
What's
is
happening to your leg,
dude. My leg is really numb. Yeah, I was talking about this off camera, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. So I think last week
You
After I worked
Were
out-
you just rubbing one out in the wrong way?
after I was working out, like I came back and take a shit. And when I was taking a shit, you know,
Thank
you
you for
gotta
the
force the
details.
shit out, you gotta squeeze it out. And then when I was
details,
squeezing
man.
it, my leg started going a little like achy kind of pain.
I'm just gonna stop you right there. I feel like if you have to squeeze it, like that's already a good sign that you're
No, I'm
not
just
eating
saying.
enough veggies.
I'm just saying. I eat a lot of vegetables actually, but I'm just saying. Like there was a little numb, but you just squeeze a little bit, even if it's not hard. You just squeeze a little bit, you know, and then it's getting hurt, you know, getting pain. I was like, oh, it's just muscle ache. Maybe I pulled it, and a few days later, started getting numb, and I was like, okay, that's not cool. That's not right.
Yeah.
And now, my ass is numb, kind of my under leg here. This is numb, and then my ankle is numb. And then kind of underneath my feet is numb. So it kind of spread it all over my leg. I mean, it's not really good that I'm sitting right now, but like,
Yeah.
whatever.
good to do it for the podcast, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
But I don't know,
the
man. It's freaking me out, to be
You
honest.
should
I'm a
get
little
che-
too
Yeah,
scared.
you should get checked out. Like
Yeah.
real.
the theory we had off camera was because this guy's been sitting for too long and he hasn't worked out for in years, and all and all of a sudden
Months, okay?
and all of a sudden he did some squats, and all of a sudden your muscles will the way you build up muscle is that you tear it,
Yeah.
and then when you consume protein, your body breaks it down into amino acid, and then that amino acid serves to repair those muscles.
Right.
But obviously your muscle now is a little bit bigger and
Right.
a little bit more swollen, I would imagine, immediately after workout. And it's possible that some of your nerves are
Yeah.
getting
Trapped.
trapped
Yeah, when
in
it's swollen
between
and stuff, yeah.
different muscle groups.
I hope that's the
But
case.
maybe you have to check it out.
Yeah, so I think there's like another.
Your girlfriend is a Chinese doctor.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
not a doctor.
I did like acupuncture yesterday, actually. So stuck a needle here. Do you do acupuncture?
Nah, dude.
Really?
Nah,
You don't believe in it, or like you just don't think it's gonna work?
I've never
I
tried
don't
it before. Just by chance.
Okay.
I think I've
No.
tried it when I was like younger, like high school age. I forgot
Right.
what I got, but yeah, it's not as painful as I thought.
It's not actually that painful.
It just feels funny.
It's-
'cause you got
it's
like,
like-
something in you,
Yeah.
in your skin, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Half a second. It's like half a second of pain. That's about it. And then it's like, oh, it's really numb. It's literally numbing. You know, when you have a bruise, that's the
Yeah.
feeling. You know, in Chinese, it's like
Right.
you go gum go. It's like you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's because you got to get that like right, the pressure point.
Okay, the
And
pressure
once
point.
you get that pressure point, you know, you feel it.
You don't bleed, right?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
It's the needle's really thin. So when by the
Okay.
time they pull it out, obviously they put like a cotton ball on top of it. And there's no blood, but it just like helps the skin pull back together.
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's hard to imagine putting a needle into your body without bleeding.
have you seen like what's that guy? The really famous guy, the magic guy. Is
David Copperfield?
No, David Blaine.
Oh,
Dude,
the
David
Times Square
Blaine.
guy, right?
I think so. David Blaine, man. He's
The guy
weird.
that like pull like crazy.
Oh,
ass
yeah.
physical
He like,
challenge.
yeah,
That
he
guy-
like he like puts things through his
the
hands and
Kanye
stuff.
video?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Kanye video.
There's like
Oh,
so
that
many
was-
of his
Oh,
videos.
yeah,
he does
yeah,
that.
That guy
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Dude, he
insane.
like went on Joe Rogan and he like did that thing and he's like
Oh, yeah.
he explained it carefully because like apparently if you pull it slowly enough, your
Right.
skin will close upon itself
Right.
by the time it exits it. So there's barely any magic in it. It's just
Yeah.
him like actually penetrating his skin in a way that will
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah, that shit was fucking disturbing.
It's weird, man. It is really weird. But then it's not that weird if you think about it. You just put it through here, like like a normal earring. There's no
Yeah.
blood. I mean, if you do a hard enough, there's blood. But like now that there's a hole, there's no blood
Yeah.
because the skin
Yeah.
kind of forms around it. Anyway,
Either way, I wouldn't do that.
back to my ass. I'm gonna get checked out soon. Hopefully, it's not too big of a deal. My back doesn't hurt, so that's a good news. So it's not like
Some
my spine.
nerve,
Yeah.
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 So, yeah. Hopefully, I'm still.
I know. You know how you could fund your medical expenses.
What?
use your investment returns from Ethereum. Oh
That's
wait,
right.
it's negative.
No,
So
it's
you
not.
can. So it's
I'm
more of a
doing really well on that,
liability.
actually.
This is more of a
I'm
liability.
doing really well for my Bitcoin collection. I'm just saying, my portfolio's
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
on
Yeah.
20% returns right now, maybe 25. I haven't checked my Doge this morning, but actually, I think it dipped a bit last night. I think people dumped it, but for some reason,
Now
It's
this
not
is
$1
we have to put out a pretty solid disclaimer here. He's not an investment professional.
I am indeed.
He is
For myself.
He is an investment professional for himself. Specializes in trading digital currencies, cryptocurrencies.
Specialize in
Years of experience with trading Bitcoin,
Years.
Ethereum, Dogecoin,
Mhm.
you name it.
Yeah.
And if you need
I've got it,
anything, this is a guy. Look
Yeah, that's
at
me.
look at that Submariner. Look at that Submariner.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know jack shit about trading and stuff. But we got an in-house economist here telling us about this new invention in the market called NFT.
NFT.
I've
Alright.
been hearing a lot of good stuff about it and bad stuff, apparently.
Yeah, so a few of my colleagues been telling me about like these artworks being like digitally scanned or whatnot being turned into NFTs and stuff.
Yeah, some memes like Neon Cat was fucking sold for a lot of fucking ETH.
Dude,
or
I am
Bitcoin.
not buying any of that. Like I just don't buy it. I
A
just
lot
don't
of
get it.
Old memes are being turned into NFT. I feel like a
The
lot
Bad
of,
Luck Brian meme. I saw that.
Is that getting turned?
have you seen the Bad Luck Brian meme?
yeah.
But
Do-
that's.
Do you know how that works?
I think
I'm
it's.
curious.
I don't. What does it stand for? MFT?
Non-fungible
Fungible
tokens.
tokens.
Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
Now, essentially, I think how that works is, it divides up your ownership of a certain artwork. Now, whether you categorize memes as artwork or not, that's a separate topic, right?
Yeah,
Some people do.
of course.
I don't. And so what happens is, because ownership for these kind of artworks cannot be allocated to 1,000 people. You
Right.
can't say it's either I own this computer or you own this computer. We can't jointly own the same computer. And so what this NFT product allows you to do is to distribute your ownership, essentially democratize it. So you can have a
Right.
piece of, you can have 1%.
I don't think I can.
1%
No,
of,
you
say-
can't. You can't own 1% of the NFT. I don't think you can.
No,
It's
you-
non-fungible, right? So that means you can't split.
So you own that shit, right?
You own the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it means, at least, because no one can split ownership. You can buy, half a Bitcoin, but you can't fudge like a non-fungible thing. That's the whole point. I think that's what it means, from my years of study. But my weirdest thing about this is that I've been hearing my colleagues been telling me that people like link it to like a priceless art, Picasso or something, and then literally after that they would burn the painting.
Right.
And then the only way to access this painting is through the NFT token, through the digitalized scan or whatnot. I don't really know
Okay.
that detail. But just going off of that basis, I think that's fucking insane. Like,
Why is that?
why don't you think it's fucking insane? Because first of all, you have an actual piece of artwork, right? Someone paint this. Doesn't even have to be Picasso. Let's say I painted this. Let's say I paint this.
worth.
Yeah, let's paint. I freaking paint like
$10.
Yeah, I paint like a happy face. Hello, right? And then you look at it and like, that's really nice. I enjoy looking at that painting. That makes me feel cool. Makes me feel nice or whatever, right? And then you put that in your house and you're like, cool, nice. Every time I walk past it, I look at it, it's great. And then one day you're like, I'm gonna make millions of dollars if I just monopolize this painting so that only I can have access to it. No one else can see it. And then I burn it. I put on NFT and I burn it. It's like now the experience is looking on your phone or looking on whatever, right? It's not really a physical object anymore. So like the physical artwork is not there. Why? Like the experience is completely different.
But then like
You've ruined it.
You have to accept the fact that like now is the digital age, right? So everything like when we talk about art, I don't know whether y'all follow any digital artists. I follow a bunch of digital artists on Instagram. Like
I'm okay with that. I'm
they'll
okay
do,
with
like,
digital artists. Yeah.
3D shit.
Of course.
People make memes,
Yeah.
like like the guy called Lush Sucks. Have you heard of Lush Sucks?
I haven't.
Lush sucks? No.
It's like a New Zealand graffiti. Joe Rogan talks about him all the time because he do like digital like murals.
Ah,
memes.
interesting.
So he'll spray fucking graffiti art of like Elon with cat ears smoking a joint,
Yeah.
or
Dogecoins,
whatever, like,
Doge ears.
yeah, or whatever like meme.
Yeah.
He'll spray that shit. But then now he's joining like NFT, so he will like, oh, this graffiti belongs to.
Is it like a physical graffiti?
Yep, used to be, but then now he can do like apps on like, oh, I'm on this 3D platform, or like virtual reality platform, and now I'll do a graffiti on there.
I'm not. So I'm not entirely sold on the idea. Not because I'm not sold on digital art. Of course, digital art is a thing. I'm okay with like people doing 3D models.
You're
I watch
having problem
movies.
that actual painting, physical painting, are being turned. To
That's
NFT and
exactly
people
my
burning that
point.
shit.
Yeah, that's my point. It's that you're literally ruining the experience of the physical art pieces. You know, I went to Sotheby the other day, right? I went to see some millions of dollars of paintings. I'm not a big paint guy. I'm not a big art guy either. But I appreciate when it's like, oh wow, this is pretty impressive, or this is pretty cool. You know, that's very low level of enjoyment. But even that, right, of just seeing the artwork in a museum is ruined by, you know, you destroying it just because some rich people want to make tons of money doing it, which I think it's, you know, bullshit.
Okay, but if you think about it, right, what is like art, right? If you transform one art form to another, like, does it really like devalues the whole thing?
I think it devalues the experience. That's all I'm saying. I think the experience of the physical piece, the physical viewing of it, is destroyed by you destroying the piece of work. That's all.
What's the difference? You can't.
The difference
you
is
can't
that-
really touch it or smell it or.
That's the thing. He smells it.
No, you can see it. That's the difference.
You can see it
And
on
you
the
can
fucking
see it
screen
on the
too.
screen too.
Yeah, but it's different because the screen is different to the actual physical painting, the canvas. Unless we're able to like 3D print the canvas, 3D print the paint, so that's
if you
really
do it-
similar.
Okay, let's say if you do
That's
it
fine.
in a VR situation or AR, whatever, like virtual
Okay,
reality
let's say
shit.
I download the entire Louvre like collection on VR. They record the entire thing. I sell you the VR. Would you rather buy the VR or go to actual Louvre? Which one would you do?
The Louvre is still there, though.
No, but that's my point. What if the next thing is I burn all the Louvre artwork and put it all in the VR? I think that's a tragedy. I think that's, personally, is a tragedy. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I don't know enough how this whole process is done. Someone please comment and tell me if I'm wrong. I'm curious, like, about NFTs and stuff. But that's how I know about it. Like, if you destroy it and they create a token and it's monopolized, you know, you jack up the prices and stuff like that. I
Okay.
think I think it's a real shame. That's all.
I would
From this premise.
say that I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But then again, like everyone knows the whole art scene is kind of bullshit, right?
I know. I understand.
Like, I'm not trashing on any painters, whatever people that do physical art, because I do digital art. But then I'm saying like, oh, because okay,
the high end, you know, the
yeah,
Picasso,
like, okay,
the private sellers.
You have a bunch of like quote unquote curator, museum curator, or gallery curator that literally like. It's like he say, she say. It's
I
whatever
agree, yeah.
they say it is, right? Oh, I think this artist has a lot of potential. All of a sudden, whatever this guy paints or shit on a canvas worth like millions.
Yeah.
And if they fucking hate an artist, it's like what I'm trying to say is it's always a market, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're doing it for fun, you're just sitting at your studio painting whatever. But if you're trying to get into the art scene or high art scene, it's always about market. So it's always bullshit. It's always
I think that
money
makes
game.
sense for the new markets. If they want to just put artwork on NFTs, that's fine. But I just don't think they should ruin past art that are literally irreplaceable. I mean, all art is irreplaceable.
Even
but,
for like past art, people are just I'm not talking about like old shit, not Leonardo da Vinci or whatever.
yeah, I'm talking about those. I'm literally talking about like
Right.
Picasso, Van Gogh's, even the freaking like Sixteen Chapel. I mean, are they gonna like tear that thing down and then put it on NFT? That would be insane, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's my point. I think it ruins part of that experience of the physical presence of it. But my take, very hot take. Lim, you're very quiet, awfully quiet.
I mean, even if you take into account the fact that they do try to artificially increase the scarcity of the product. Essentially,
that's
that's what they're doing, right? They're burning shit down. Okay, there are too many, say, Apple laptops out there. I'm just going to destroy a few just so we could jack up the price of that
Yeah, that's
product. I mean, either way, that's how the market works. First of all,
Yeah,
and
but-
second of all, 1 century later, 2 centuries later, who would remember? If I'm being honest,
Remember what?
what gets burned?
No,
It's-
yeah, they will if they have they have the NFT blockchain and they say, oh, what? They burnt all these awesome paintings.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like,
100,
why?
100 years later, you're not gonna think they're that awesome.
100 years ago, people didn't think Van Gogh was awesome. Now they thought they were freaking sick. I mean, I don't know how many years ago. Maybe not. 100,
They won't
but
live to see it.
Yes, but shouldn't we have the responsibility to preserve things that at least we think it's deserve to preserve?
I
Right.
think pretty much everything in the past is sunk cost.
So you think that everything in the past should not be preserved? You're not a sentimental person, so you think that past artwork serve no purpose whatsoever.
I believe they serve some purpose, but that purpose only gets expressed in the future.
Are you having this conversation just for the podcast content?
No,
or
dude.
is this
No,
actually
I'm
you? Come on,
absolutely.
man.
I'm dead serious,
So
dude.
everything in the past is sunk cost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, okay. So you will never spend a dime on past art, whether or not it's $10, $20, $1 million, or past anything.
I might because the value would come from the future, not.
So you're
because
so
if
you're
I
saying you're
okay
just,
if I
you're
put
just
up,
gonna do it as an investment.
No,
You're
no,
assigning
no,
a
it's
ignore
not
that.
it's
dollar.
Ignore that side yet.
No,
We'll-
ignore
we'll-
the
I think
investment
we'll get
side
on that.
first.
We'll get on that.
But even say if I can afford like a Picasso
Yeah.
painting in my house and I put it out there, the value would come from the fact that I can show people I have a Picasso painting.
But not-
I don't enjoy it. I don't. And also, I don't really care what people think about it. But this is entirely hypothetical.
Yeah, of course.
But imagine a rich dude who has the capital to pull that shit off, to buy a Picasso building and frame it in his bedroom or something like that. That the value doesn't come from what he thinks. Okay, let me sit down first.
My point is, I think my question is, what you're saying is, before something about the past being a sunk cost and that the value it brings only comes from the future. Then in 100 years, that painting will still be valuable for people who collect Picasso, people who find Picasso very good and very well regarded. And that means that painting in 100 years will still be relevant and still be liked. Unless you're saying there's like a nuclear disaster and we lose everything, then of course, yeah, fine. But my point is, if past great works are still great in the future, why are they being destroyed just for the sake of like NFT or just for the sake of jacking the price up? And I think that's my point. It's just it ruins the whole game.
Well, it depends on what you mean by ruins the whole game.
It ruins the whole meaning of drawing art. I mean, of course, for us peasants, art pieces are for viewing, for enjoyment, for whatever triggers our emotions, whatever. But for rich people, it's a way for them to launder money, a way for them to avoid taxes and stuff like that.
At the end of the day, it's like demand and supply, right? Like you can say the same. Like I'm an art guy, but then you can say the same thing about like delicacy or good food, right?
Yeah.
Why are we putting a price tag over like pricier food? Why?
No, that's different.
why
That's
isn't
different.
like-
If you're saying that I'm going to destroy every single burger just so I can be the only shop that sells burger, that's exactly what they're doing.
right,
Like you
right.
can't use a free market argument when they're creating a monopoly. Correct me
Right.
if I'm wrong on this, economist. I don't really know what I'm talking about here, to be honest. Right? Please.
I also don't know what you're talking about.
No, but like because they're destroying that one piece of artwork. They're trying to jack up the prices by creating a monopoly on their own ownership, like literal monopoly on viewing the artwork, not just like having it.
Okay, but with the rise of internet, I'm pretty sure we can just literally Google "Scream" by
I know.
Van Gogh. and
Yeah.
we could enjoy it like that.
Yeah, I know, but like they would argue that that's not the NFT scan version or whatever. That's not the pure version and
Right.
whatnot. And by them burning the actual piece, now nobody can see it except for them potentially having like a perfect scan or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they have a perfect scan. Let's say it's much better than the one you see online.
Sure.
Would you think it's not illegal, obviously, but if you think that's wrong
Is there a market for that kind of product though?
for Van Goghs?
for like the perfectly scanned NFT version to a peasant, for
Yeah.
a peasant like me, for example. As long as if I could Google a similar image that's 99.5%
Yeah, that's
similar
yeah.
to,
I
to
agree
the
with
NFT
you.
scan,
I agree.
I wouldn't pay $20 to access that painting.
It's more of a bragging rights as well for rich people. Like if you have an NFT of like a very, very nice painting and then you destroyed it, and now I'm the only one who has a better scan or superior scan. It's like it's like owning a painting versus seeing it on the paper. It's comparable. It's not the same, but it's comparable. It's having like something better than you, and I think that's the issue that's the thing that they want to have.
Whether this person owning an NFT of incredibly rare artwork makes him or her better than you, that's determined by the market. For example, if
Fair
I
enough.
own a painting that I painted myself 20 years ago, okay, I think, oh, I own this piece of work. For you don't value what I paint, for sure. But I can tell you I own this. Does that make me better?
I think there is definitely a market for that because there's like multi-million-dollar
Would there be?
NFTs.
Have you heard of
for old
people who
paintings.
said, "Oh, wow, Justin, you got an NFT for what's a good example?
Starry Night.
Yeah,
Starry
yeah,
Night
sure,
maybe,
sure.
but like Bad Luck Brian.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay, different
okay.
type of
What is it?
art.
Oh shit, Justin is awesome. You got an NFT.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like people that do like meme NFTs are more so for the money, right? It's because I don't understand why would people
It's a
like,
gamble.
drop like
A million,
they're-
2 million.
Yeah, they're selling for like crazy ass prices.
It's interesting because I think this whole mentality kind of comes from when I was younger. The first
Nah, this mentality came from the whole Bitcoin crypto
no.
frenzy.
Listen, this is my analogy, right? The first encounter of this mentality was when you were younger. I'm guessing we all have contact with either Pokemon cards or some kind of cards that have like flash cards, camouflage cards,
Yeah.
and people just want to collect those because they were rare. Of course, now non-fungible tokens are literally one of a kind, but let's presume those flash cards are as rare as like one of a kind, right? Then the idea is people to collect things that people don't have and have the bragging rights of having something that everybody wants. Of course, the market determines what everybody wants, and people are throwing these new NFT memes out to try to bait and see if these are something that people want, And what's in it for me? Why can't I just make another Bad Luck Bryant 2.0 with like another filter on top of that cover and then sell it out for that? Sell it an NFT for like, blue filter Bad Luck Brian. Why can't I sell that? A different version of it. Maybe there's like a camouflage version of Bad Luck Brian that's like even more expensive. But
right.
honestly, I think let the market decides. Let the market decides what's more valuable and what's not.
Yeah, like all the artworks we mentioned, has no intrinsic value.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Just like the Pokemon cards.
just like
it's
the Pokemon
$2,
cards.
whatever, right?
But-
It's like a public belief, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
We
was gonna say
all
that.
believe that this shit worth like, yeah, that's the whole point of. Oh, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, which I don't. Okay, just saying I don't know shit about Bitcoin, ETH, Ethereum, or whatever the fuck. But then it's all of a game of belief, right? I'm
is.
saying that's this nothing, this digital currency, which I can't own. Not physically. I can't see it. I can't touch it. But then it's a bunch of ones and zeros on a computer, and everyone believed that this shit worth like 1 million. So it worth $1 million. But then if everyone said no, or let's say internet went down tomorrow, no one can access the internet. Your Bitcoin or Ethereum or NFT or whatever the fuck would be nothing.
Have you ever you guys seen Rick and Morty? Have you
Oh,
seen
yeah.
the
Turn a
episode?
1 to
Yeah,
0.
exactly. Now, I don't want to make it so like I'm the crazy conspiracy guy. What an economist would probably sound crazy or whatever, right? What he said, right, is the belief that we all think that Bitcoin is, say, I don't know how, it's like 58 now, 58K USD or something, one Bitcoin, right? We all believe that because the market is willing to pay that. What about like US dollar, right? We believe that one Hong Kong dollar is worth 7 point something US dollar or something like that, right?
7.8, 7.6.
Right. Why do we believe in that? Because the market is willing to pay. Oh, of course, like Hong Kong's also pegged with the US. And like, what about UK? What about, Korea, whatnot? We all have this belief that currency is worth something. So why can't we think that Bitcoin is worth something too? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's your view?
Now, first of all, when the U.S. currency, U.S. dollars first incepted, it's actually a contract, meaning that
right, yeah.
$1 $1 note you can actually go to the government and exchange for a certain amount of gold. and
Oh,
that's
right,
how
right.
it was first established. It was pegged the value that is pegged to gold.
Yeah, I remember
And that's why everyone believed, oh, okay, worst case scenario, I could still get some gold, which side of the status quo or the benchmark currency, before during wartime.
And obviously, we can even go back to that. It's like, why is gold valuable?
why
right?
is gold valuable?
Right, but we won't
And
go to that. We'll just
we
keep
can
going.
go to that later. The whole debate now becomes: is Bitcoin going to become gold, or is Bitcoin going to become U.S. dollars? First of all, think about why do these currencies replace gold? The answer is what you call liquidity, meaning that
Right.
it's
It's
a
easier
lot
to
easier to
carry,
carry U.S. dollars
Yeah.
versus carrying
A brick of gold, yeah.
blocks of gold
Right.
in your backpack, and that's one big reason why. And it's also backed by the government, okay? And so
It
U.S.
was all
it
backed,
was
right?
backed by the
Yeah,
government,
yeah,
and it still is, because the government has
Is it still
uh,
the Federal Reserve? You're saying, right?
the Federal Reserve.
It's definitely
not the government.
more.
They are the central bank, and they have control over the supply. One central entity has control over the supply of a currency. If they run out of money,
Oh, okay.
the one reason why the U.S. government, when they issue debt, when you lend them money,
Yeah.
they're super credible, is because worst case scenario they can't repay. They don't have enough money to just print more money. Okay, you always get your interest
Yeah.
rate and principal back.
Yeah, but it's
And-
always negative. Well,
Sometimes it's negative.
sometimes it's negative.
Nah. But
That's how
bottom line
inflation
is
happens, right?
bottom line is right. Why is crypto, or specifically Bitcoin or Ethereum, going to replace U.S. dollars or any currency? As a matter of fact, is there a practical
Yeah.
use case that makes it better than U.S. dollars?
Is
There
there?
is one. When we compare paper notes to gold, it's a lot easier to carry. And if you talk about Bitcoin, the argument I could think of is, okay, it's digital currency. It's even easier to
Yes.
transfer, make transactions for that.
Yes.
But
Yep.
we can already do that. We don't have to do that through inventing a new mean of not mean of transaction, but new unit of currency. New
Currency,
currency. We can do that through PayPal. We can do that through a lot of different payment processing.
Yeah.
Credit card, even Octopus card. It's already a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the argument here, the question here really
No, but
is,
then PayPal and Octopus Card, the value underneath that underlying is dollar. It's not a different currency.
exactly. So
I mean, you can invent a new one on top of that.
exactly. So why do we have to invent a new one when we have PayPal, Octopus Card, credit card, even that facilitate transactions digitally?
Yeah, the liquidity of
Okay.
the
Liquidity
currency is
standpoint.
not
I think-
the point, right? The
I
whole
think
point is
the-
like decentralized.
That's exactly my point, right? We haven't touched on that at all, right?
Right.
The decentralization of Bitcoin, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
democratize, whatever, right? The fact that people are not. There's no central government thing that is trusted to print Bitcoin or whatever, because Bitcoin is minted, mined every 10 minutes or so, and so. What's your take on that? Like,
But it's
the
a while.
decentralized aspect of whether or not this is actually viable new digital gold or
The
digital currency.
downside of having a decentralized currency is volatility.
Right.
If
that's
you
correct,
have
yeah.
a unit of Bitcoin today, 1 unit of Bitcoin is worth 58K. You could literally buy, what can you buy with 58K? You could buy, a nice car.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
definitely.
A nice car for 58K. Now tomorrow, if I'm telling you Bitcoin's super volatile, tomorrow you can't even buy this piece of bread from 7-Eleven.
Not even talking about
Yeah.
tomorrow. You talk about 5 years ago. And then
So
you can't barely
would
buy
you
anything.
want to have your wealth stored in that kind of form, where today you can buy a
Yeah,
car,
it's a wild,
tomorrow
wild west out there. I feel like
Why-
it's too risky, right?
It
yeah,
is.
Would you want some sort of stability? Now that depends on your age range as well. If you are in your early 20s, you can take a little bit more risk. Maybe
That's
it's
me.
more justifiable to do
Got a
that. But
lot
if
of
you're
crypto.
if you're in your 50s or 60s, you're about to retire. You don't want that kind of risk, because what if all my savings in my entire life went to shit tomorrow? It becomes a nightmare to plan as well, to budget.
Yep.
Yep,
If
makes
you want to
sense.
buy, if you're thinking in your mind, I want to buy a car, I want to start a family, I want to buy a 2-bed apartment in 2 years' time. Oh, wait, all my wealth is stored in the form of Bitcoin. So the value of Bitcoin dictates my
Future.
purchasing decision in the future. And would you want to have control of that? Now, that volatility point, the whole reason why I brought this up is because this links to decentralization
Right.
of Bitcoin. that itself creates a lot of volatility because retail consumers, we are all,
We don't know what the hell we're doing.
we don't know what the hell we're
Like
doing.
Elon tweets and then like Doge skyrockets.
Yeah, and okay, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, right? The whole mentality behind Bitcoin or Ethereum is kind of also like what drives this shit. It's also the same mentality when people get all hyped up
Yeah, like
with
fidget spinners.
GameStop,
Yeah, GameStop.
right?
But
It's about
is there-
we're gonna eat the rich, man. Everyone get a chance. We're not gonna get fucked by
Actually, I
one
mean, a lot of
centralized
rich people
government.
have Bitcoin and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but that's the
have
point,
Ethereum.
right?
I-
At the end of the day, it's still like, oh, I got a bigger server, so I have the best graphic card, so I can mine quicker than you,
But-
peasants.
But is there really no underlying value to having
I think
these
there
different
is, but it doesn't
cryptocurrencies?
justify having 50% of your net worth.
Okay,
in
that's
that-
fair enough.
in
That's
that
fair enough.
asset. I would
Right.
say, for me, I think if I'm being adventurous, I'd put maybe 2-3%.
2 and 3%.
2 to 3%.
Oh, I'm way over that line.
a little bit less.
No, I'm not gonna put my I'm not gonna put my like 10% of my profile into like whatever digital currency. Call me crazy, but yeah.
Fair enough.
I think there's value, but that value doesn't justify having your entire net worth in big, which a lot of people do have. in
Yes, not me for sure.
this. Yeah.
Like your like your whole like saving is like one tweet from Elon Musk away from being nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so who really controls the value of Bitcoin now? We always say, oh, we don't want a centralized government to determine the value of a currency through determining supply and demand of it, right?
So that's a
now,
really good point.
all of
Now
a sudden,
even worse.
someone really popular like Elon, he makes a tweet, your value of Bitcoin goes up or down depending on his mood. Now,
That's
is
actually a
it
good
really
point.
decentralized?
That's a really good point. A good point is that now you brought that up. It's like a lot
It's
of these
populism,
crypto,
bro.
a lot of these crypto get popped off because there's wide adoption by like companies or by bigger,
Yeah.
institutes. Once they're in the game,
You're fucked.
it's not democratized. It's not decentralized anymore.
Yeah, even
They can
okay,
dump.
let-
They can
let's-
dump it at any time,
Let's
and it's
take a more
done.
extreme example, right? Not Elon, because Elon is like so tied up with like all the Dogecoin,
Yeah.
Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. Okay, let's say some random ass guy. Amber Heard says she's
Yeah.
she's gonna put all her dimes in Dogecoin because she likes to fuck with dogs. Let's say,
Yeah.
very poor analogy. But then, okay, all of a sudden, like everyone is pulling out because everyone hates Amber Heard. For example,
Yeah.
then and she's not
SGG.
even a
Big celebrity.
yeah, and your money can be like poof,
Mm.
and your entire profile is gone, right?
Yeah.
And-
The question becomes: do you want popular people to determine the price, your net worth, what you can buy tomorrow, what you can buy in a year's time?
Now the argument could be, I'm not saying it is, could be that the stock market is similar. That if the market moves depending on the institutions and Warren Buffett tweets out anything about anything, it would
Sure.
react.
But it took a
Right.
Warren Buffett to move the stock market.
Yeah, but it's same as
and
Elon
Amber
Musk.
Heard can move the stock market.
Good point. Good point.
Anyone can move the Bitcoin market,
Yes,
a digital
yes,
currency,
yes, yeah.
because it's
But
so.
there's a similar
easy.
argument. There's a similar argument that there is bigger institution. So in that sense, right, anybody can move. Anybody that's famous, anybody has some following, can move the market. In that sense, it's a little bit more.
I'll say
democratized,
like
right?
there are more people that can move the digital currency market than there
That's right.
are that can move
That's
the
right.
stock market.
So the argument becomes whether or not you want many people who can move the market, or do you want a chosen few?
I
Now-
don't think those chosen few can move the market that much. Even if Warren Buffett does put up
I
a
mean, come
statement
on.
saying
The,
the market
US,
is going to be...
if the U.S. government came out and be like raising interest rates, it's like that's
yeah,
game
okay.
over, right?
It's game over. The stock market is going to drop, say, 10%, but not 50%,
Fair
which
enough.
is what we've seen in the
Fair
crypto
enough.
markets.
Fair
right?
enough. There's always market regulation.
And yeah,
there's-
remember GameStop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember GameStop, like
Remember
and also,
GameStop.
and also because there are so many available stocks in the market, you could easily diversify away your risks. You can
Yeah.
buy 500 companies, and if one does
What
get
about
manipulated,
crypto? Can you not diversify? Can you not hedges or diversify your?
No, I feel like
crypto
there are
investments?
clearly very dominant crypto out there.
No, but I mean, you can buy shorts. You can buy whatever puts,
you
whatever
could
stuff like that.
you could do that. But I
Hedges.
mean, what I'm saying, diversification is through buying a lot of different assets at the same time, rather than putting in having very exotic instruments to reduce or mitigate your risks.
Okay, so now we're back into the segment of Lim, the investment guru, advice here.
Like, okay,
No.
Would you not? So your not advice is to buy complicated, instruments like shorts, puts, options, whatever. Instead, diversify your portfolio.
I think diversifying is key. First
Okay.
of all,
unless you're a day trader, right? It's always good to diversify. Even I know that.
yeah, there's very traditional saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's correlation between how the stock would move today or tomorrow, with one stock with the other. And so the best bet you have is to have skin in the game, but in every single
Yeah.
What about like
game available, kind of.
What about the instruments? What I'm saying is like contracts and stuff like that. Derivatives.
You could
wanna
do
fuck
something
with
a
that?
little bit more exotic, but the chances are a normal retail investor,
They don't know what the hell that's going
They don't
on.
know what the hell's going on, and they treat that as a gamble. They don't treat that as a gamble. They think it's an investment, but it really is a gamble.
So another thing that I was thinking about is the other day, I was thinking about options and warrants. And
Dude,
stuff
why are
like
we
that.
talking about options? But we're talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah,
here.
no, I'm just talking about finance stuff right now because we moved on, right?
No, we
Unless you
can't
want to move, fine. You want to move on to crypto, fine.
We can't move on
Fine,
because
fine.
you literally just got destroyed by my arguments, and now you're running away.
I didn't get destroyed by your argument. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'm just gonna.
I think I agree with you that the market is way more volatile and a lot more famous people can move it instead of the central government. And there's obviously circuit breaking stuff that you can, you're not going to lose
Yeah.
that much on the stock market. Of course, that's fair enough. But I don't think it's not viable for someone to invest a little bit.
I don't
little
think
fair
bit,
enough.
like
Yeah, yeah.
2-3%.
Yeah, that's fine.
2-3%.
I
Not
feel like
50.
okay,
But you got diamond hands on these, and they'll become your 50% because it's gonna
All right,
2%
I'm
is
just
gonna
gonna say if
blow up.
your 50% of whatever your savings are or investment are can like the whole pile of money can be changed by a tweet from like Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I don't
Think
think
about
that is
those
a
morons.
wise
Guys.
thing to put your money in.
You gotta make money. Okay?
Gotta make
There's
money.
always gotta be risk, but big risk means big money. Okay?
This is
So-
where I will disagree because these kind of risks are what I will call non-systematic risk,
What does
which
that
will
mean?
not give you additional return.
What's
There are risks that will give you better return. There are risks that will not give you better return.
What does that mean?
You jump off a building. You're taking a lot of risk.
Yeah.
What's the upside of it?
No, but like-
upside.
You'll be known as the guy that
You know, as a
survived
guy,
jumping
but
off
what's
the building.
what's
So
the
you're
upside?
you're
Very limited.
equating buying crypto as in jumping off the bridge.
Not
wouldn't say that. I
necessarily,
wouldn't
but
say
the
that.
risk.
But my
doesn't-
point is, you're saying that the
justify.
risk is not going to justify the
It's
gains.
not proportional to the additional return you can get from cryptocurrencies
All right.
compared to other alternatives you are given. For
Like
example,
what?
the stock market.
Like what?
Even
No, like what?
stock market. Oh,
No,
I
like
can't.
what?
I can't say.
Nah, come
any
on.
specific companies.
Ah, come on.
GME.
Just
Or
one
AMC,
ticker, man. Just one. Just one.
Give me
no.
some numbers.
Come on, man.
No, later. I will give you a number.
Ah.
No, but here's why people. I'm skeptical, but at the same time, I do think it's warrants a normal, rational person to invest 2 to 3%. If all things go wrong, if a war starts between China and the U.S., say, I do think cryptocurrency would increase in
Do
value
you
a
think?
lot.
Do you think
No, internet. Like, what if internet goes down, right? Like,
that internet's
okay,
not going to go down?
or start internet grid, like, or you can go
Electric
on.
grid is going to go down. The internet's not going to go down unless all the electric grid goes down.
Maybe.
In the
Like,
world.
who knows?
Then we're probably dead because besides the internet, medical services, all that stuff is down. We're probably dead. But my point is, what do you think there's any worth in a currency that's not regulated, that's not, that has up and down like crazy, that's not controlled by the rich, that's not controlled by institutes, that
It is
have their
controlled
best-
by the rich.
I mean, technically, it's controlled by the people because they react to what the rich people say. So technically, it's controlled by the retailers or whatever individuals. Of course, if you build enough wealth, you build enough.
You build enough wealth, you could control anything, bro.
That's my point, right? I mean, of course, if we apes together strong, we have enough retail investors on the Ethereum market or whatever crypto market, it can beat the people who have a lot as well. So is there any value in a
But
decentralized
can you
market?
communicate, with the GME example, because there are so many players, so many, these so-called Wall Street
Of course.
investors.
Why can't they communicate? Of course, they have like
You
Ethereum.
have
chat
Reddit,
forums
you
and like
have
that.
your forum and like that. But can you trust those people? Oh, everyone
Yeah,
says,
they're like diamond hands, and
Diamond
then
hands,
they
I
just
wanna
sell
buy
it
this, I wanna
immediately.
buy that.
Like majorly fuck
You-
through the GME thing.
Can you really coordinate at a group setting with a million players in the game?
Yeah,
This comes back
yeah.
to kind of a game theory concept, right?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
Apes together strong, but if apes together doing the same thing with the same purpose.
no,
strong,
I think
but
this is the part which is a little bit more philosophical than economical, which is like people don't like to be controlled by one player in the game or maybe like 10 player in the game, which
Yeah.
is like the central bank, Warren Buffett or the ultra rich who have huge sway in the market. They rather their money be taken from their neighbor. Right. I think that's sort of the philosophical idea, right? If I'm gonna lose $1,000, I'd rather give it to like my neighbor who came over and stole it instead of like Warren Buffett. I'll lose it in the market to Warren Buffett. I think that was the idea, I guess.
I think
right?
I wouldn't say there's a
I don't
philosophical-
don't
there's a
represent everybody, but,
psychological
like, that's
aspect
part
to it because you think Warren Buffett is incredibly rich. That's why you don't want to give this $1,000
Yeah.
to him. So because that $1,000 would become worthless essentially, and
Yeah.
rather you would want to decide who you want to give it to. I
Yeah.
want to give it to a poor dude next
Yes.
to you.
Your neighbor, and then
your
now the
neighbor,
market,
not-
maybe
not
there's
market.
he spends
But-
it.
but there
and
is,
it's
I never thought about
simulations.
this.
But there's a
Actually.
legitimate psychological aspect to it. Why would you not want to lose to the rich, but you don't mind losing to the poor?
Yeah,
I guess.
you see what I mean? Like I'm not sure if there's actual value in this, but I think there's at least an interesting philosophical underlying that people would rather lose to people like us or people like each other peers than to say a central government. Let's say a new announcement comes out, the market drops 10%.
Also,
off,
why
just
why
off,
are
like,
we
100K or something.
why are we framing this as a zero sum game? If I lose, the government wins, or if I win, the government loses.
I mean,
It's not a
why
gamble.
is the market not a zero sum game? Someone has to buy and sell. I'm gonna buy if I think it's gonna make me
because
money.
different people have different incentives.
But at the end of the day,
If I loan you money, for example,
Yeah.
you charge 2% interest. I loan him $100.
Yeah.
You charge 2% interest. I need the money now, and you get a $2 back, two
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
additional dollars
yeah.
back in 1 year time. We both win.
yeah,
right?
but yeah, we both win but
Because we
what
have
if-
different incentives.
That's correct. But what if you don't pay me back?
Well, I mean, that's you're breaking the rules of the game now.
Yeah,
There
but
will be legal consequences with when
okay,
you default
okay.
rate.
So let's say the incentives for retailers are to not lose money on the market, right?
Mhm.
And the investors like Robinhood
Mhm.
would be like, I want to make money from my platform.
Because you're
They'll
thinking
take in the money from the retailers, and then wow, great, we have Citadel here who makes tons of money for me. Why don't I give them all my shitty deals to them, and now they make a lot of money, and the retailers lose.
By the way, speaking of Citadel, a lot of people they use Robinhood
Yeah.
to fuck up GME.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Oh, we don't want to screw up the big hedge funds," but essentially, think about where all the trades from Robinhood gets routed to Citadel.
Yeah, but the Citadel will think,
And that's
a
the bread
bunch of
and butter.
stupid people are
Yeah.
shorting are buying GME. They're so stupid, right? They would think that, and suddenly you're like, whoa, hold up, and then the price goes up, and they're like, crap.
No,
Right?
I think just to answer the question, why is this not a zero sum game? Is because different people have different incentives, and you're looking at a very single dimensional way where everyone cares about just the return. But there's the return, there's also the risks, there's also
Okay.
time maturity, as in some people need the money now, some people need it in 10 years' time. So I don't mind taking a bit of a discount if I can't get my money back now.
Right.
Some people say, "Oh, I'm not paying my mortgage. I don't have any educational debt to pay off, so I can afford to keep my money in the stock market in 10 years for a better return." Some people want liquidity, so different people have different wants.
Okay.
I
And
don't want to cut you short. You lost me starting from the mention of zero sum game. So everything afterwards, Robin, who's
zero sum game
Yeah,
means
explain to me.
Okay, I remember. Okay, I remember like reading or not hearing about this term from when I watched Arrival. I remember that was a term that mentioned in the movie, and afterwards I was just like blanking out. So when you see the footage, I was just like, the fuck is that?
No.
So what is zero sum game?
zero sum game means a situation where
Someone
if
has
one
to lose.
loses, No,
Yeah,
someone has
so-
one loses, that means automatically implies the other guy wins.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If the other guy wins, implies the other person loses. So rock, paper, scissors, that's a zero-sum game. There can only be one winner and one loser.
Ah.
But if we are doing something together, if we are
Yeah, so my point was that in a stock market, if I buy at $5 and then I sell at $7, I made $2, right?
And someone lost
Someone
$2.
someone bought at 5, someone sold at 5 and then had to buy back at 7. It doesn't have to be the same.
maybe they
person.
don't want to buy it back. Maybe I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's right. So it may be two different people. Someone actually bought it at 3 and then sold it to me 5 and then actually made $2 profit. Someone
Because the
it's
money
gonna
has to
go
come
up.
from somewhere.
Yes.
So if you gain $2,
Yeah.
someone has to lose $2.
Yeah.
All right, that,
I mean,
that part I accept.
maybe not really, right? I mean,
Not really.
it's sort of true in my sense that I think that like if someone moves the market, someone's gonna lose money. I think that's sort of my point. Is that if the institutes move the market in a direction that they seem correct, they're always gonna win.
Yeah, money doesn't just generate out of thin air, right? So if someone
I mean, tell that to the U.S. government.
they print it, yeah, but then if someone is, yeah, it makes sense to me, I guess.
Yeah, so like if let's say Citadel, right? They had a bad rep for GME. They're like, oh, let's just short this guy, right? So that's why they kept their stock prices low, of course, right? That's the whole point. Then GME is losing, the Citadel's winning, and then people were like, screw that, let's short squeeze them. Now that the people who hold GME are winning, Citadel's losing. That's sort of the simplified version. Of course, there's a lot of nuances. Lim just said, right? What if people were loaning money? Loaning money, I'm technically out of $100, and I'm only getting 2 back every year, right? But then the incentive of me losing 100 and getting 2 every year means that I achieve my purpose, and he also achieved his purpose of getting $100. It's not a zero sum in that way, but like
Eventually, he has to pay the 100 back.
Eventually,
Over
you got to
those
pay
$2.
the 100 back for
Yeah.
sure. But what I'm saying is because if I loan you money, okay,
Yeah.
I give you $100, and I say, hey, Justin, next year you'll have to pay me $102 back. Okay, 102, so I charge $2 2 percentage rate, and in his framework, in his mind, oh, you're losing because you're giving $2 in this jackass limb. Why would you do that? Now, what if you could use that $100 to start your own restaurant, and generate a lot of return, generate $50 in return next year? Give me $2 back,
Yeah.
and you earn $48.
So from $100 you can get like 4 or 5, whatever, and then you gain 300.
Because
right?
some people need money at different times. Okay, if you are starting off your family, you have a kid, you got to send his kid to school. You need money for that, and some people don't exactly. And what the financial market does is really distribute capital from people who has excess to people who are in need.
Right.
But do you think that the market has become that the rich people put a bunch of money in there so that they could not distribute to the people who need it, but distribute to themselves to gain returns back in?
This is what the
few
liberals
years?
make you think, dude.
I'm not thinking
not
that.
even-
I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking that. I'm just saying, do you think that?
Of course, I don't think that.
Fair enough. That's fair
Do
enough.
I look like a liberal?
I'm not saying that I don't believe in the stock market. I've invested in the freaking stock market if I want, right? But I'm just saying there's a mentality of people out there who think that people who have too much power in the market, who can drive the market in their own favor to make money for them, right? Even the coronavirus, you can
But that's
see
the
that
whole
clearly.
point of the market, right?
No, the market isn't supposed to be people who drive it, who can just have say into people who are in media, people who are, who are in these top positions can move the market in whatever way that pleases them. It shouldn't be like that, right? That's the whole point.
No,
I don't know.
that-
Do
I
you
feel
think
like-
that
I
should
feel
be
like
that should be it?
like,
I don't know.
Your depiction of a market
Yeah.
would make sense back in the day where
No,
media
you're a
isn't
libertarian,
thing.
so you understand what I'm saying. The market shouldn't be manipulated in a sense that I say something and it goes up. It should just be whatever the people think. Well, whatever people
No, I
are
feel
willing
like
to
the
pay.
way you manipulate the market is like just props to you, right? That's how you're playing the game better than other people.
Yeah,
Is that what you think?
I think it is.
Do you think there should be
Think
any
spot on.
regulation on that then? But market manipulation, that's a crime. You shouldn't do that. That shouldn't that be a part of playing the game better?
Or that's okay.
That's
That-
not playing the
I'm
game
not
better.
saying-
That's
I'm not
cheating.
saying that-
Market manipulation
Right.
is cheating.
What?
okay?
What? Okay. What's the difference between cheating and not cheating? Then?
There are
I-
legal ways to manipulate the market and illegal ways to manipulate the
Yes.
market, right? Even like I feel like okay, to put it in my world, like for an artist, right? Like if you're really quote unquote really talented artist, you're best painter, best videographer, but if you can market yourself, if you can promote yourself, if you can plug yourself or hit up certain celebrities or artists, no one would know who the fuck you are, and no matter how talented you are, you're just gonna be the nobody, jerking off in your own studio. But then, even if you're not as talented, but if you're very good at marketing yourself, promoting yourself, running Instagram, whatever the fuck, that's props to you. That's part of your skill set too. So I feel like that's also how you play the game.
Yeah.
I feel like, let's say, put it back in the market analogy, right? Like how you talk to people, how you market yourself, like Elon Musk. You know, be a meme guy. Ha ha ha. Tesla. I named Tesla after Tesla S, Tesla E, and Tesla X. You know.
Yeah.
Makes dumb shit like that, or smoke a joint on Joe Rogan podcast. Everything you do is also how you play the game.
Yep.
Sure.
And
So-
the difference between propping with price legally versus illegally in his example is if I produce an artwork and I lie to people saying, "Oh, I use gold flakes to paint this
and it's
whatever,"
not
and
gold,
then I sell it for $1 million, it's not gold. Then that's
That would be
lying.
illegal,
That would
yeah.
be
Right.
illegal.
Right.
And same with the market. If you're using private proprietary information to trade, that is illegal.
Okay.
But if
But-
you're just you're able to analyze public information a lot better than the average
But
person.
let's
then
say,
you're
let's
not.
say, this an example, right? I'm not saying that this is something that I disagree or think is wrong. I'm just saying, I'm just putting a scenario out there. I'm not actually having a huge stance on this. I'm trying to get the
Disclaimer.
conversation
Sure.
going.
Please
I don't really
don't
actually
sue
care
us.
that much, right? So let's say, you have a big banker. Let's say my man Jamie Dimon goes on CNN something and be like, yeah, so our stock outlook for this month is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously because a huge institute, the price of these goes up because they already hold these at a lower value and they share this information to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is okay, or do you think that's sort of
That is okay. It's Jamie Dimon putting out, by the way, for your information, Jamie Dimon's the CEO of JP Morgan, and
Okay.
he is, kind of a big influencer as well
Yeah.
in the stock market. Him saying that is what stops him from saying that if you could say that,
yeah I know. So
right? But the only difference is the result. The
Yeah.
And
result
he has
which-
more like stakes.
He's
or
got more-
he's actually
influence.
got more stakes. So actually, yeah, you're good point.
He's
Is
got
that
more stakes?
He's actually got more risk in his pocket as he hold these stocks, and then people decided you're stupid, and then short it, right?
Like,
so
even when I was like really young, right, when I turned up the TV around like noon, they have like these like financial whatever news, right? They would get some, financial guru.
Yeah.
People will call and I just bought this whatever Chinese stock. So what do you think about this? And the guy would say, I think you should sell it all and like hold that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's free market and free speech, right? Whatever you
Yeah.
say, of course, like we
The
don't
private
know
information.
whatever guru. Maybe the
Yeah,
guru
yeah.
has a lot of stakes into the certain
Yeah.
stocks that he was like telling people to sell
Yeah.
or whatever, right? But then, I feel like in this day and age, social media is such a key part. So
It's an amplifier.
whatever you do, it can be a part of your game too, and you either makes everyone shut the fuck up, or you can't really put a regulation or whatever.
fair enough.
Like Elon Musk can be posting a selfie, but the selfie has Audio Technica headphones in it. And
Yeah.
Audio Technica
Yeah,
stock
yeah,
price
yeah,
might
yeah.
fucking
Yeah, yeah.
jump tenfold
Yeah.
because Elon Musk is wearing Audio
Yeah,
Technica. So should we regulate that too? Like
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair enough.
There's no
It's a
end
good
to
point.
this shit, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, as long as you're not lying, you're not putting out fake information, you're not using private information to make returns that are in excess of the market.
That's how you would regulate it.
I'm not saying
I mean,
that-
that's probably how
that's-
it is regulated. Right?
yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but then it is what it is.
That's what it is. It is
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, in that case, like it's just the way how the the financial market work, where people just have big players have big say.
Yeah.
And they have actually it sort of makes sense because big players have big play because they have big skin in the game, so they're more to lose in that sense.
Right. I'll switch gears a little bit to
Right.
use sports analogies. Let's say basketball. One of the best players in this day and age is, say, LeBron.
Kobe,
He's not here anymore.
all right.
Say LeBron James, say, fadeaway jumper is gonna be super. It's gonna be the standard way to play a game in the future. Okay, and all these young folks go imitate him. Okay, I'm starting all these fadeaways. but maybe he knows exactly how to break a fadeaway offense. And that's why he's telling everyone to do a fadeaway.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
is that how is that different from the stock market being manipulated? Because you get penalized because you get penalized, you're wrong. If Warren Buffett says the market's gonna go up 10% this year, if it doesn't, the market's gonna take that into account. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, everything Warren Buffett said, not everything is trustworthy.
The argument that I could think of, just top of my head, not really mine. I think I don't really care that much about the free market. I think would be that the institutions have more of a control over which player gets to play and like kind of bailouts, right? Let's think about that, right? Let's say Jordan breaks his ankle, right?
Sure.
He's gonna have huge medical bills coming up.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna pay for that. Someone's gonna heal him up to keep going, right? The NBA comes in like, oh, so sorry, bro. Oh, so sorry. Let me fix you up so we can have better games with you, so we make tons of money. They patch him up and then get up and go. But a small player like me, I want to play better basketball. I break my ankle. I've got no medical bills to pay.
Sure.
Now I can't play basketball for the rest of my life, right?
No one
That's
cares.
sort of that's the whole point, right? That's kind of like the people would look at that and be like, that's unfair.
Is that unfair? No, it's not.
Let's say it's like it's. So do you think the bailouts are okay from the government?
The bailouts of the big banks.
Yeah, the 2008 stuff.
I think it's inevitable. It's that action itself is fine, but then the reason why we reached that state is what I question.
Right.
Why are we building up all these risky debts on the bank's balance sheet?
Yeah.
And which led to the government having to bail out all these big banks. I think if I were to choose at that moment in time, I will bail out the banks myself. If I were the government, I think that's the right decision at that point in time. But they should have seen the warning signs coming and have done something about it a lot longer before the financial crisis happened.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's why.
I think the general idea is that people like that they aren't in control of a lot of their financial risks.
A lot of the retail investors.
I'm not saying
I got to
that
rant here a little bit. A lot of the retail investors are getting indoctrinated by the fucking liberals, thinking Wall Street is evil. Occupy Wall Street.
I work on Wall Street, so I can't really say much about it. Right? I'm trying to articulate their argument.
Yeah, and the rich is just trying to screw over the poor by the stock market. Stock market is evil. Investing is evil. All these. The average person who's not that educated would actually believe in that kind of crap, right?
Sure, I guess. I don't know.
And
maybe
with
but there
media-
are educated people who do believe in it.
Yeah,
but I
there
guess
are
not
educated
educated in
people
that.
who believe in it.
That sector.
And they read the papers every single day. Every single day they read, stock market's evil. Stock market's evil. That's no different from being brainwashed by the. Who knows? That to me is the same shit.
Strong words.
To me, it's the same
Lib.
shit. Just that one scenario, one person trying to brainwash you. The other scenario is a lot of people trying to brainwash you.
What would be your advice for people? Start like us, starting out. We got some money. We got we start working. We could think about joining the stock market. What do you think we should do? And not be resentful towards those who have more. Because it's very easy for, that's why liberals can brainwash these people, because there's a huge resentment towards people who have a lot and not versus those who don't have. And that's why, as young people, we should be financially responsible with our money, invest carefully in, cryptocurrency. I mean, in the stock market, so that we could, plan ahead for our future. What's your advice on that then?
The advice is just make sure you're financially literate and know what you're doing.
Okay.
Instead of treating that as a gamble.
What's your advice on getting financially literate then?
There's no excuse to
Any
not
YouTube
get
videos?
financially literate these days.
Any
There's
channels you wanna plug?
even say learning how to edit videos. I started doing that on YouTube, and there are a lot of great channels doing it. And for financial advice, same thing. Off the top of my head, I couldn't think of anyone like Graham Stephan, for example.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
he's not an investor. He's
not
not a real
really
estate
investor,
guy. But there are a lot of channels out there. Even beyond YouTube, Google, Investopedia, those are good places to start. And there's no more excuse for you to make dumb decisions anymore. I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fact that some folks get burned by GME, it's their fault.
Fair
Like
enough.
like how Ming said last time, Wall Street bets just bunch of clowns, on it, just gambling, it's glorified gambling.
Yeah.
And the best way to sort of get started is just SP and chill.
Fair enough. All right.
That's the advice here. But yeah,
Cool.
This is the investing episode.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
I
we
enjoyed that.
actually went on for like quite some time just talking about. I'm pretty sure I spoke more
My
this
brain
episode.
is like dead. I can barely think right now.
Oh, so are we done? We're done.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I mean, if we got something else, we can keep going. My brain is pretty fucking fried. I can't think of a good analogy at all. My brain was just like.
That's it, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
I felt like I was
Fire.
like super liberal in this episode.
Yeah,
but I'm
you
okay
were.
with that. I'm okay with that because someone's gotta play the bad guy, right?
Someone's gonna
I'm
play
like
that guy.
literally I'm not